Hi, my name is Frank Turley, and today I'm here to talk to you about why I believe that baseball is the best sport out of all of the sports. To start, I've played many sports, including basketball, baseball. I've ran cross country, played football, and I played a little bit of hockey before. But my favorite sport, personally, is baseball, and there are many reasons for that. I've played baseball really ever since before I could even walk. I started playing baseball. My dad and my parents have always played baseball, and so have all my brothers. I started playing baseball by the age of 9 when I started like organized baseball. I played t-ball when I was about 9 years old, and then moving on, I played lots of travel baseball for different organizations, and then I started playing for my middle school team, and then I moved on to my high school team, and I would play that during the school year, and then I would move on to travel ball during the summer. So I've really never gotten a break from baseball. I've pretty much played for about my entire life. I've played baseball, and that's one reason why I believe that it's a really great sport. Just because you can just play it all the time, you can really play all year round. You don't have to stop in the winter just because it's cold out or there's snow on the ground. There's places where you can go indoors and you can play baseball. They have many indoor stadiums, and I've even played on like soccer fields, like indoor soccer fields to play. So you can really play all year round, which is a really good thing, which you can't do in most sports. Um, it's really known as America's pastime, and it goes back and has a really long history uh, through America and many countries throughout the whole world. Um, in America, it was invented by a man named Abner Doubleday. He was a Civil War hero, and he fought, I believe, in World War II also. And him and his friends in the army pretty much just invented the game of baseball, and that was a long time ago. So there's been a lot of changes made to the game, like to be the modern game of baseball now. And but I just think it's cool how it was invented by like the heroes of our country. So it has a really good history, and there's a lot more reasons why I believe it is also the best sport, including the amount of games that are in one season compared to other sports. Um, like the NBA has 82 games in the season, and the NFL only has 16 games, which is like the NFL really you only play like your team plays one time per week, which is kind of cool. But baseball, your team can play sometimes 7 days out of the week, and they can play every single day, which is really cool because they have 162 games in each season. So there's a lot of action that goes on during baseball. But talking about the action in baseball, a lot of people argue that it is a very slow paced sport, which I can agree with. But if you really like baseball and you like watching sport, there's a lot of stuff going on the whole entire game that you can watch and learn about, and just really cool stuff. And it has also been looked at that baseball has more playing time, like action throughout a whole game, than a football game does. And I think that's really cool. And going along with the history of the game, there's a lot of really cool baseball parks that teams have in the MLB and the minor leagues, and there's so many really cool teams that you can support and get behind. And my favorite team personally is the Chicago Cubs, and they play at Wrigley Field in Chicago. And if you've ever been to this baseball field, I believe it's really cool. They have like ivy going around the whole entire wall in the outfield, and the stadium's just really big, and it's really cool. And there's so many seats and so many people, and the like whole area surrounding it, I think, is really cool. And the energy there is just super dope to me. I think it's awesome to be there, and I'm actually going to a Cubs game this weekend just because I haven't been to one in so long, and I think it's really cool to see. And another thing that people argue about with baseball is that in my opinion, I believe that it is the hardest sport out of all the sports, and this is because the fact that in professional baseball, most people are throwing the ball around 94, 95 miles per hour, which is incredibly hard as a hitter to hit the ball. And plus, they're throwing so many different types of pitches, and because there's so many different types of pitches that move different ways and spin different ways, and it's really hard as a hitter to pick up the spin on a baseball and see which pitch that is being thrown and to be able to hit it. And that's why I believe it is the hardest sport. But a lot of people in the pros and everywhere around the world are hitting home runs, which I think is really cool. And I think a home run is one of the coolest things in sports, in all of sports, to do, because where else can you see a ball go 500 feet off a baseball bat? And I think it's just really cool. And then along with that, the whole playoffs and the World Series. There's so many different teams that win the World Series, and there's never really like a dynasty of teams that win the World Series every single year, like other sports, like in football and basketball. There's usually one team that just wins every year for a couple of years in a row, and then it switches up. But baseball, it's different every single year, and I think that's really cool. And you can always find a team that you like and support.